Before this video starts, I need to tell you something. Fable 5, Anthropic latest model, was banned over the weekend. So this experiment was filmed before that. So what you're about to see, you can no longer replicate. Now this is a live SaaS app. Let me try to log in here. Real database, authentications, Stripe payment, one prompt build it. But I gotta be honest with you. I didn't just type in, build me a SaaS. Instead, I had a question. Can Fable 5, Anthropic's latest frontier model, one shot, develop, test, and deploy to Vercel? And I really wanted to find out. The first thing I tried is I asked, hey Claude, build me a SaaS. Most powerful model in the world. Garbage. The model isn't the problem. The question is. So that's why I came up with this experiment. What if we give Fable 5 everything it needs to develop a fully working production SaaS? A proper visual system, a real product spec, the UI flow, a full schema of database, and then connect it directly to Supabase connectors, Vercel connectors, Stripe connectors, and then type the one-shot prompt. 5bucks.ai is the platform founders use to get found in Google and in any other AI search platform out there, from ChatGPT, Claude, Perplexity, among others. SEO, GEO, lead gen, all in one place. And 5agents.io is where businesses get Claude AI agents running their operations automatically, from marketing, sales, customer success, finance, all without building any of it themselves. Before this, I spent 20 years in world's biggest organizations like Apple, Lufthansa, among others. For the past years, I've been building SaaS full-time, multiple launches, real users, real revenue, but never with a single prompt. This channel is about building real things with AI faster than anyone thought possible. If that's your thing, consider subscribing. Before we start the experiment, let's talk about what we're trying to build here first. You know, when you go to forums like Reddit, you see a lot of people talk about their ideas of what product they will develop. So before you spend a lot of effort in developing anything, you want to validate those ideas have demand. So we're going to be creating a document folder that consists of all of our plans in there. So one is style.md, which is a visual guidelines of how the app should look like. The second one is PRD. This is what most product managers generates when they're trying to create any applications. And then after that is the UI flow, which tells Fable 5 what the UI should look like and what's the flow of the UI should look like. And then tech spec and database schema are the last two, which is how this should be implemented. What is the tech stack that we are going to use? In this experiment, we're going to be using Supabase as our database, Vercel as our hosting providers, and then we're going to be using Stripe as well. And then after that, we are going to ask Fable 5 to generate these 5 plans. Before we do anything else, head on to Claude Desktop and choose Claude Code instead of Claude Cowork, and create a folder and name it the name of your project. In this case, I've named it Waitlist, and then we're gonna open that and set that as the main project folder. Let's start with style.md. As I said, this should tell how the application should look like. I've pre-prepared a prompt for you to put in. And then the second one is the PRD. I'm going to paste it here. And then I'm also going to paste the prompt for the UI flow, the tech spec, and the DB schema. And then let Fable do its thing. So here we go. This is a quick break. If you want Claude AI agents running your business automatically without building them yourselves, consider 5agents.io. We set up and maintain agents that handle your marketing, sales, customer success, and finance. Content posted every morning, leads prospected daily, invoice chased on a daily basis, report ships, all while you sleep. The kind of AI power builds you're watching right now, we set up and run for companies across the world, starting from $1,500 live in under a week. Discovery call is free. The link is in the descriptions. And if you want to get found on Google or any other AI search, 5bucks.ai is the platform to make it happen. SEO, GEO tracking, 275 million verified B2B contacts, automated social posting, all in one platform. 14-day free trial, link is in the descriptions. Let's get back to the video. Connecting the live services. This is the second portion after we created the plan. This was filmed the day before the ban, and you'll be able to see what Fable 5 could do. So it needs real access to the database in Supabase. It needs access to Stripe, and it needs access to Vercel, where these applications will be hosted. First and foremost, let's create accounts in all of these connectors that I just explained. First, let's create an account in Supabase. And this is very easy. You sign in and then you just create your account. So once it's done, let's move on to Vercel. We're going to be using all free accounts. For Vercel, you just continue to the sign up process. Very straightforward.
One thing I wanted to add is that when you're in the middle of setting up your Vercel account, make sure you also create a GitHub account. GitHub is where your source code is going to be stored, and Vercel is going to read it from there. This is an automatic process. All you need to care is that once you're in Vercel, you just choose connect to GitHub and then follow the process there. You will be able to see it in the recording.
And then the last one is Stripe. The same thing, you go to stripe.com and then create an account. And then what's important here is you need to create a sandbox, because only when you're happy with testing in the tests or sandbox environment in Stripe, then you'll migrate that to the live environment. And a quick note, you won't be able to create a live environment if you don't have a legit business. They will need to verify your business. One tip I can share is that if you're trying to connect Supabase, Vercel, and Stripe to Claude, you'll also need to give Claude access through their CLI in addition to the MCP. CLI is a command line interface. And the reason you need it is because it gives more access to admin capabilities. So what I mean by that is you'll need to go to a terminal and type in login Supabase, and then just follow the process. And then you also need to go to Vercel and do the same thing, login Vercel, and complete the entire process, and also log in to Stripe. The reason you need this is because Claude needs all access, including secret key and all of this admin capabilities that may not be available in the MCP currently. All right, this is it, right? So planning done, connectors are done, creating account done. So there is one last thing to do. And let me type it up here. And before I do, just a quick favor. If this experiment is useful, hit like. It generally helps to reach more builders like yourself. And subscribe if you haven't, because I try to run this every week from now on. All right, let's find out. So while this thing is running, I just want to explain a little bit what happens. Fable 5 is reading all those 5 documents, and then it's reaching out to all of the different connectors, Supabase, Vercel, Stripe, and then setting up the applications as well as the database. And it is scaffolding the Next.js project, installing the components, building dashboard, waitlist, detail, public page, settings, landing page, everything styled light and dark mode. And at the same time, it also creates products in Stripe, and then creating the authentications to access those products from our applications. And lastly, once it's all done, it will then start doing testing. And the testing is basically every single steps that it creates. For example, from a sign-up perspective, from a login point of view, it will test every single one, including the Stripe payment. I wanted to share with you that if you're not providing all of the access, remember I told you about the login Stripe, login Supabase, and login Vercel, they won't be able to create products in Stripe. They won't be able to create some of those rules in the database. So what they'll end up doing is they're just going to make a memo at the end of what they are not able to do. So that's not what we want. The feedback that I want to give is that try to give as much authorizations to Claude as possible. that will then allow Claude to do what it is able to do, which is do a complete deep dive and create everything for you. Okay, so here's the final result. So before we call this a success, let's be honest with what happened. Fable 5 got about 90%, 95% right on first shot. Two things that needed fixing. One is I hate how it looks like. So what I ended up doing is I went to one of my favorite or landing page, which I found from Mike. I follow Mike and I use a lot of things that he shares. So if you haven't done so, you also need to follow him. But that's the first thing. I gave Claude instruction to change the look and feel of the landing page to make it more modern. So as you can see in the final product, you can see a more polished one. And the other one is mostly around deployment. And what I mean by that is if you're not aware, if you're deploying something to Vercel and host it there, you will need to store your environment variables. And this is all those secret keys that we've been talking about that you need to store in Vercel. And those are the ones that if you do not provide those login or CLI to Claude, you will just create it and then fill it up with placeholders. So that's one fix that I needed to do, which is updating the environment variables in Vercel to use the actual secret key. To avoid all of that hassle, please make sure that you provide login Supabase and login Vercel and login Stripe. So once you complete all of that process, you don't need to worry about all of that. If anything, you probably want to change the look and feel of the app. So, can Claude Fable 5 one-shot and deploy a full SaaS app? The answer is yes, but not the way that people try it. You'll need to provide as much as context as possible and also give as much access to all the tools that it needs to deploy, test, and do all of that. So if you open any AI model and type in build me a SaaS, you'll get garbage, and rightfully so. If you give it planning documents, you connect all those live services, and you give them access to the command line interface or CLI, then you really got a chance because Claude has all the context, access to your connectors, to your database. Then it can create the pages, wires payments, and ships a live SaaS product. One prompt, no terminal. Unfortunately, Fable 5 is gone, at least for now, but this method isn't. So remember, just make sure that you document all your plans, you connect all your connectors, and then you can use your prompts. It works with any frontier model. The model changes, but this setup is here to stay. Okay, so drop a comment if you like to see more build like this. I might run the next experiment with you. Like and subscribe if this is useful. This is the best way to tell me whether you want me to keep making this or change to a different video.